Hello again and welcome back to English Today. And this is DVD 18 and the first DVD of your advanced level. And in this DVD, you'll see another 2 episodes of our story, That's Life, followed by our special TV programs. This time, a sports expert will be talking about golf. Then, in our travel section, we'll be looking at the White Knights of St. Petersburg. Then in the grammar section, we will study some of the uses of the passive form in English. And then we'll look at some more useful phrases for you when you're socializing. All right? So, enjoy your viewing.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, Sandra. What are you doing?
We're making some sandwiches for today's drive in the country.
What drive?
Hasn't Paolo told you about the trip? Today he wants to take us to visit an old farmhouse in the country. It's supposed to be very beautiful, a perfect example of rural architecture.
That's right. I remember now. Paolo told us it was built by some rich Italian-American, a really eccentric character, a friend of his mother's.
Okay, girls, is everything ready?
We've almost finished.
What a wonderful smell. They look and smell great.
Keep your hands to yourself. No one's touching these delicacies now. You'll be able to taste them later when we have our picnic.
Paolo, about this outing, where is the farmhouse?
In the countryside, about 20 kilometers from here.
And is it true that it's incredibly beautiful and that it belongs to an Italian-American?
Oh, yes, but it was designed by a Dutch architect.
And it was built in the style of an 18th century Tuscan farmhouse, right?
Oh, right? Oh, believe me, it's a jewel.
I didn't know you were so interested in architecture.
Oh, my dear ladies, there are so many things that you don't know about me. As well as music, I have many other passions. I'm full of surprises.
No one doubts that, Paolo. So, tell me more about this house. It's fascinating.
Oh, you're right. And you have to see the garden. It's a haven of peace and tranquility.
And what sort of plants are there?
Oh, thousands. Big old trees, grapevines, olive groves, and many types of roses. And it's huge. There are 8 gardeners.
Oh, really? So many?
It's a lovely spot. My mother used to take me there a lot. I loved lying under the oak trees. It gave me a sense of peace. That's where I gave my first kiss.
Wow. Who would have thought our Paolo was so romantic?
Are you making fun of me?
No, definitely not. I bet this enchanted house has been the source of most of your musical inspiration.
How do you know that?
Considering it doesn't take much to inspire you, I can imagine what a paradise can do. Oh, hi.
Hi.
Sorry we made you wait. Paolo was just telling us about the garden.
Oh.
Okay, let's go. I can't wait to see this place.
Do you know where Mike and Michelle are? They should be here by now.
Oh, Michelle went out for her morning jog earlier. She should be back by now, so she's probably having a shower. And Mike's in his room watching a football match.
What a surprise.
Okay, I'll go and give them a shout.
Oh, Sarah, have you got the camera?
Oh no, I left it in my room.
Why don't you go and get it? We should be able to take some lovely photos today, right?
You're right. I'll go and get it.
Well, it's good to see Sarah's back to her old self again, isn't it, Paolo?
Oh, I knew that being all together would be good for her. Okay, let's check we've got everything.
Okay,
Sandwiches.
got them.
Drinks.
Got them too.
Okay, I think we have everything. I feel like I've forgotten something.
No, we haven't forgotten anything.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Just a minute. My guitar!
Oh, no, Paolo, not the guitar. Just for today. We said it'd be a calm and relaxing day.
What could be more relaxing than the sweet melodies of my guitar?
Hi again and good to see you. Now, in that last episode, they were talking about an old farmhouse in the country and describing it. And they were using some interesting language which I want to teach you now. Let me give you some examples of what they said. Sandra said that the farmhouse was built by a rich Italian American, was built by. Now that grammatical form is called the passive. We're going to study that now. But other examples. Paolo said, yes, it was designed by a Dutch architect. It was designed. He said, it is built in the style of an 18th century Tuscan farmhouse. The passive, that's what I want to look at with you now. We'll go to the screen so that you can see how the construction works. It is actually quite simple because you need to take the verb to be in the necessary tense, whether it's past, present or future, and then you add the past participle of the main verb. Okay, so that is the grammatical form. When do we use the passive? We use the passive when it's more important the action which is happening and not the person doing it. Let me give you an example, try and make it clearer. And look at the screen now when we can combine the things. This is a magazine. Now, I want to talk about the magazine in the present. And there are various things that I can say. For example, this magazine is published in the United Kingdom. Is published, the verb to be plus the past participle. Other things that we can say about it. The articles are written by top writers. Now, notice that if you want to actually mention the people doing the object, the action, you use by. So, these articles are written by top writers, okay, top journalists. Another example, it's delivered worldwide. It's delivered worldwide. There again, we don't know by who, but it's not important in this case. It's the action which is important. So that's in the present, using the verb to be in the present form is, are. Let's move on to the past tense now and take these shoes. We can say about these shoes were made in Italy, okay? These shoes were made. Notice that the verb to be is in the past, and it's plural because it's two shoes. So not was made, but were made. These shoes were made in Italy. The other examples are they were designed by a top designer, and only a limited number were produced. All right, so the verb to be plus the past participle. Then if you think about the future, you can put the verb to be in the future, and let's think about a film that has some perspective that is going to be made in the future. Let's look at how we use that in the passive form. The film is going to be set in America. Now that's a bit more complicated. The verb to be goes into the future, but it's an intentional future. So it becomes the film is going to be set, means filmed, in Russia. It's going to be directed by Spike Lee. Now here the information Spike Lee is important, so we add by. It's going to be directed by Spike Lee, and it's going to be released next summer. Released, taken to the cinemas next summer. So that's the passive form, as you can see, if you know the verb to be very well in all the different tenses, past, present, and future, it's not difficult. And it's actually not different in English to many other languages. All right? So, that's the passive. See you again next lesson. Bye.
So, it's time to leave. What a shame.
Yeah, you're right. This week has just flown by. I've had a great time.
Yeah.
I hope to see everyone again. I hope to see you again. Very soon.
Listen, Mike, about that, I want to clear up a few things with you. Well, a few days after we arrived, I happened to hear Paolo's song, and I knew that it was about us two. And, well, you know what I mean, right?
Of course.
Well, after finding out about this thing, I realized that I needed to talk to you straight away, but I didn't have the courage. We've known each other for a long time. I've always thought a lot of you. God, I don't know how to tell you this, Mike.
Come on in. Don't be shy.
It's not easy to say certain things. I mean, you know what it's like. Put yourself in my shoes.
You don't need to tell me this. For years, I've been trying to. But maybe as we've come this far, we don't need words anymore.
No, what are you doing? You've gone crazy.
But I thought that you too.
That I what? I was trying to tell you that that I really like you and that you're a true friend. But only a true friend, nothing more.
What an idiot I am. For a moment, I thought you had feelings for me.
I'm sorry, Mike. I didn't want to upset you. It's just that, well, the truth is that there's someone else in my heart.
I know. Don't worry. Let's pretend nothing's happened, okay?
Okay. Right. Friends? Like before?
Of course. But no hard feelings?
Okay. Fine. I'll just go and finish packing then.
Okay.
I'll see you in a bit.
So, it's not true you were only interested in football and nothing else.
What are you trying to say?
Don't play the fool with me, Mike. I understand lots of things now. Like the time I told you I loved you. Do you remember? At that time, we were always together. And I thought there was more between us than just simple friendship.
Come on, Sarah, not that old story again. I mean, there's no point in going over all of that again.
Well, I think it's time to put a few things straight, once and for all. At that time, you told me you weren't in love with me, and that you didn't want to deceive me. I felt rejected, and thought that football was to blame. I thought that football was the only passion in your life. But now...
But now what?
Oh, stop it, Mike. I saw you here just now with Anne.
Wait a minute, sir. Let me explain things.
Oh, you don't need to explain. I'm not angry. In fact, you, all of you, have helped me a lot in the past few days. I'm at peace with myself again, and this is really important. And, to be honest, I'm glad to have found out the true reason for your refusal was another woman, and not football.
I think of you more than any sport, sir.
Hey guys, it's late.
I'm sorry, I was packing.
So, it's time to say goodbye already.
Oh, I hate goodbyes.
Oh, it's a sentimental one. Anyway, we'll be meeting up again soon, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
I have some good news. I've decided to open up a new bar, and you're all officially invited to the opening party.
Oh.
I think I'm going to call it College, in honor of all of you.
Oh, fantastic! And as for the music in your new bar, here I am, with my guitar, of course. You know, you're always welcome to come to this house. And I'll be waiting for you all next year for another wonderful holiday together. In memory of the good old days. Yeah! Friends we thought they'd be back soon. I'll sing away for next year's. Hey, ho, 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 young. Yeah.
Hi again. Anne said, and so it's time to leave. What a shame. Well, it's true, isn't it? It's great to have a reunion with good friends, but it's also sad to say goodbye to them. And she said, what a shame. Do you know what that means? It's like saying, what a pity. What a pity, what a shame are the same meaning. And it means that you are expressing sadness about something. And with that phrase, I want to take you into socializing again and to look at a few more phrases to help you when you're traveling around the world, socializing with English language speaking people. What a shame is an example. It's a useful form of socializing. So let's look at some examples. Imagine that you receive some good news, or a friend of yours receives some good news. What do you say to your friend when they receive good news in English? Yeah, congratulations. Or, I'm very happy for you. I'm very happy for you. Okay? If you receive the opposite, if you receive bad news, what do you say? Yeah, in English we say, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. Okay? Sorry to hear that. Or, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Receiving bad news. Now, imagine that people come to your house, they're visiting you, and you want to invite them to be comfortable. What can you say? Yeah, we say, do take a seat. And that's a very polite way. Do take a seat is a polite and quite formal way of inviting somebody to be comfortable. Or a nice one is, do make yourself at home. Do make yourself at home, all right? And then you could say, can I get you something to drink? You know, in England, people often, when they meet up, They drink together, whether it's beer or wine or aperitifs. So, can I get you something to drink? Good. Now, imagine that you have got a drink and you have the glass in your hand and you want to pass it to your guest. Now, what do we say when you give something to somebody? 3 words. We say, here you are. Now, when we're speaking fluently, that becomes, here you are, which sounds very strange, doesn't it? You think, what sounds Indian? Here you are. Here you are. I mean, it's one of those unusual phrases which, if you separate the words, has no meaning, but we use it when you give something to somebody else. So it's very, 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 very common. Here you are. Thank you. Not at all. Here you are. All right? What about when you're in discussion and you want to agree or disagree? In English, we say, I agree with you. We don't say, I am agree with you, because many languages translate that from their own language and make a mistake with the English construction. So, I agree with you. And the negative is, I don't agree, not I am not agree. And the question is, do you agree? Okay, that's very important. What if I say, well, actually, I don't agree with you? Do you remember, well, actually? When do we use, well, actually, those 2 golden words? Yes, that's right. It's when you want to introduce a no, but in a soft way. You prepare the other person psychologically for no. Well, actually, I don't agree with you. Or you can say, I agree with you up to a point, which means partially, up to a point, all right? Leaving. When you have to leave people, it's often sad. You could say, well, we really must be going, it's late. We really must be going, all right? Which displays a fact that you have to do it. You don't want to, but you have to. You have duties, etc. We really must be going. Or another nice one is, we must be on our way. We must be on our way, okay? And then showing that you're sorry, as we saw in the episode with our friends. What a shame. What a pity. Okay, well, what a shame and what a pity this lesson has finished. But don't worry, there will be another one. So I will see you again in the next one. Take care until then. I must be on my way. Bye.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Sports Special. I'm Eric Brown, and here beside me is John Forbes, our sports expert. Today we're going to talk with him about golf. Hello, John.
Hello, Eric. Hello, everyone.
So, John, tell us, where did golf start?
Well, the game of golf is believed to have originated in St Andrews, a small town on the east coast of Scotland. It's thought that local people started the game by hitting stones around a grassy area next to the sea.
Really?
That's right, Eric. Today, golf's a very popular game in Scotland, and many towns and cities have municipal golf courses where everybody can play quite cheaply. Today, the Royal and Ancient Golf Club is located in St Andrews. This is the body that draws up the rules of the game and answers questions golfers around the world have about the rules. You know, there are 6 golf courses in St Andrews. One of these is the famous Old Course, the world's first golf course.
Right. So St Andrews is the place to go if you like golf. About the game. First of all, what do you need to play golf?
Well, to start with, you need a set of golf clubs. You use these to hit the ball around the course. There are lots of different sizes of clubs, but basically there are 2 kinds, drivers and putters. Drivers are used for long shots along the fairways and putters are used for short shots on the greens. Then you need a golf course. There are usually 18 holes on a course. And of course, you need a golf ball.
It seems easy to play golf, but how exactly do you play the game?
You start each hole on the tee. From here, you use a driver to hit the ball as far as you can towards the hole. If necessary, you hit the ball again to get it onto the green. Once on the green, you use a putter to hit the ball into the hole. It's as simple as that. Well, almost. And be careful not to hit your ball into a bunker, an area of sand. It can be difficult to hit a good shot out of one of these.
Don't worry, I'll be very careful. So, John, how do you keep score in the game?
Well, each hole has a par, the number of shots required to put the ball into the hole. Let's say the first hole at the old course in St Andrews is par 3. If you complete the hole with 4 shots, you're 1 over par. If you complete it with 2 shots, you're 1 under par. The winner is the golfer who completes all 18 holes with the fewest shots or the most shots under par.
And what happens if the golfer hits the ball into the hole with just 1 shot?
This is called a hole-in-one, and it is a cause for celebration.
Is it expensive to play golf? Because it looks like it's a game just for rich people.
Well, golf clubs can be expensive, and you may have to pay a lot to play on a course. But you may be able to hire the clubs, and you may be able to find a municipal course that charges very little for you to play 18 holes.
How popular is golf?
It's very popular in Scotland, as you can imagine, as the game started there. There are 540 golf courses in Scotland. Remember, the population of Scotland is 5 million. But golf's also popular around the world, especially in Europe and North America. The game's really taken off in East Asia. The game's incredibly popular in Japan, Taiwan, South Korea and Singapore. There are lots of professional golfers who take part in international golf tournaments all over the world.
Well, now, we certainly know a little bit more about golf. Thank you, John.
You're welcome, Eric. Goodbye.
And goodbye to you, and see you again next week for another edition of Sports Special. Okay, now let's go back to the start. So where and how do you play golf? The area where you play is called a golf course. A golf course has 18 holes. The aim of the game is to hit a golf ball into each hole with the fewest shots possible. A shot is when you hit the ball. To play golf, you need, well, yes, a golf ball and a set of golf clubs. A set is a complete group. And a golf club is the thing you use to hit the ball. There are 2 kinds of golf clubs. Drivers, these are clubs for long shots, and putters for short, precision shots, to hit the ball into the hole. You take your first shot on the tee. This is the starting point on the golf course. For the first shot, you use a driver to hit the ball along the fairway onto the green. The fairway is the area between the tee and the green. The green is the area of grass around the hole. Here the grass is cut very short. You must be careful not to hit the ball into a bunker. A bunker is an area of sand. And how do you keep the score? The score is the points of the players. Notice we say, keep the score. This means count the points. Well, each hole has a par. A par is the number of points required to hit the ball from the tee into the hole. We say, for example, a hole is par 3. This means you have to get the ball into the hole with 3 shots. If you need 4 shots, your score is 1 over par. If you only need 2 shots, your score is 1 under par. And if you complete the hole with just 1 shot, it's called a hole-in-one. The winner is the golf player with the most under pars. Well, golf really has taken off around the world. We say something has taken off when it becomes very popular. Okay, sports lovers, that's all from me. See you next week.
The home of the Tsars and the Revolution, and one of the world's greatest museums. This is St. Petersburg, a magical city that definitely won't fail to impress. I'm Lucy Ross, and this is the travel programme. Today we'll learn about Peter, as the locals call the city, with our travel expert, Christine Oteng.
Hello, Lucy, and good morning, everyone.
Well, St. Petersburg is beautiful at all times of the year, but it's during the white nights, when darkness never falls, that the city really is at its best. Would you agree, Christine?
Yes, definitely. As you'd expect, these long evenings occur in midsummer, particularly during the last 10 days of June. During this period, St. Petersburg really is a fun place to be. The sun barely sets, it's still light even at midnight, and the city overflows with festivities to celebrate the longest days of the year.
Are there any special events?
Of course, during these evenings, it's possible to watch some of the world's best opera and listen to some of the best classical orchestras. Mind you, it's not all highbrow culture. Locals often stay out celebrating all night. There's also a White Nights Dance Festival, with events ranging from folk through to ballet.
So, it's possible to see the famous Kirov Dance Company?
Sometimes it is, yes. It doesn't always take part, though, but it does usually put on student performances.
And what about the city's monuments? Is there anything really special that visitors must see?
Well, there really is a wealth of sights for the visitor to take in. St. Petersburg is famous for its many museums and art galleries. The Hermitage, for example, is one of the world's leading museums with a breathtaking collection of all kinds of art and is most definitely not to be missed. There are also numerous former imperial palaces that can be visited both in the city and along the shores of the Gulf of Finland. And try not to miss the city's churches, the main ones at least. Actually, there are so many that it'd be impossible to visit them all.
Well, tell us, Christine, is it true that the city's called the Venice of the North?
Yes, that's right. This is due to the river Neva that flows through the city and the numerous canals that crisscross the historical centre. On this subject, another special midsummer event is the raising of the bridges over the river Neva. Thousands flock to the riverbanks to see the raised bridges silhouetted against the twilight sky.
Well, visitors must find out when the bridges are lowered, or they might not be able to get back to their hotel.
That's right. If that happened, they'd just have to stay out celebrating until dawn.
Well, that doesn't sound too bad. And the food? I've heard the food's not very good. Is that true?
Well, let's say it's not the place to go for a food trip. But if you like a drink now and again, this is the right place for you. Russians love vodka, and they love inviting their friends to drink with them. And Russians can be disarmingly generous and hospitable. But be careful. The vodka's easy to drink, but don't overdo it, or you'll feel it the next morning.
Did you hear that? The vodka is good, but don't drink too much. And do enjoy St. Petersburg, a truly fascinating city to visit. Thanks, Christine.
Goodbye.
See you again soon to discover more interesting places with the travel programme. So, St. Petersburg is at its best in midsummer. Midsummer is the middle of the summer. We say something is at its best when it's in its best condition. The city is at its best because in midsummer the sun barely sets. When the sun sets, it goes down. The moment when the sun sets is called sunset or dusk. The sun barely sets means it almost doesn't set, so it stays light all night. So sunset is when the sun goes down. When it comes up in the morning, it's called sunrise. It's the moment that the sun rises. This time of the day is also called dawn. So, St. Petersburg is a fun place to be in summer. It's a fun place to be means it's amusing to be there because there are lots of things to do. You can go to the opera or a classical concert. Mind you, it's not all highbrow culture. Highbrow culture is classical culture, like opera, Shakespeare, Dante. We use the expression mind you to introduce a contrast with something that's just been said. The locals stay out celebrating all night. To stay out doing something means to spend the night doing something. So, the locals stay out celebrating means they celebrate all night and don't go home until the morning. There's a dance festival too. The Kirov Dance Company doesn't always take part. To take part in something means to participate. Notice we say take part in something. So the Kirov Dance Company doesn't always take part in the festival, but it puts on student performances. To put on something means to organise something. And remember, it's not the place to go for a food trip, a holiday based around trying the local cuisine. But it is the place to go for the vodka and all-night celebrating. So, bye for now. See you next week.